As the Formula One season reached its midsummer crescendo, the drama of the track rivaled the intense battles on it, especially within the confines of the Red Bull Racing garage. The Hungarian Grand Prix had just concluded, marking another weekend marred by a crash during qualifying. This time, the spotlight was unyieldingly focused on Sergio Perez, whose seat at Red Bull seemed increasingly precarious. With just the Belgian Grand Prix remaining before the summer break, the whispers around the paddock were growing louder. Perez had one more race to prove he deserved to retain his spot in one of the premier seats in Formula One. The urgency was underscored by Red Bull's narrowing lead in the Constructors' Championship, with a resurgent McLaren team slicing through their advantage. This intensified the discussions within Red Bull about a potential mid-season driver change to safeguard their championship aspirations. It was a dramatic scenario for Perez, who, despite recently signing a contract extension through 2026, was now facing the possibility of being replaced due to performance clauses that hung over him like a sword of Damocles. Perez's journey to this precarious point was not devoid of effort or moments of brilliance. At the Hungarian Grand Prix, he had delivered what the team management called his best race performance in 3 months, climbing from 16th on the grid to finish 7th. While this was a commendable recovery, the very need for such a comeback only highlighted the persistent doubts about his consistency and reliability, the very qualities Red Bull craved as they aimed to clinch both the drivers' and constructors' titles. Within the team, strategic discussions were intensifying. Christian Horner, the team principal, and Helmut Marko, the motorsport advisor, seemed to be on different wavelengths, oscillating between various candidates who could potentially replace Perez. One week, the buzz might be about Liam Lawson, the next about Yuki Tsunoda, and more recently, Daniel Ricciardo had emerged as a prime contender for Perez's seat. Ricciardo's situation was equally fraught with uncertainty. He was not just fighting to retain his spot but was also being considered as a potential replacement for Perez. His performance had been seen a gradual uptick since the Canadian Grand Prix, and this improvement had begun to restore some faith among the Red Bull hierarchy. Yet this was a precarious balance. Ricciardo was well aware of the stakes, having indirectly hinted at his own insecurities about retaining his seat during the Hungarian weekend. Meanwhile, Liam Lawson had a fleeting moment where he seemed poised for a mid-season promotion. He had recently driven the RB20 during a test session, impressing the team by closely matching Max Verstappen's pace, a benchmark that even Perez had struggled to consistently achieve. Initially, it appeared Lawson might be catapulted into Perez's seat post-summer. However, the gravity of the championship battle necessitated a more cautious approach, and thrusting a relatively untested Lawson into such a high-stress environment was deemed too risky. The situation was further complicated by the performances of Tsunoda, who, despite showing consistent pace and growing maturity, faced internal reservations about his ability to handle the pressure of racing alongside a championship contender like Verstappen. The internal dynamics within Red Bull suggested a preference for a more experienced, dependable driver who could immediately contribute to the championship fight, a role Ricciardo seemed increasingly likely to fulfill. As the Belgian Grand Prix approached, the internal debates within Red Bull were mirrored by the speculations swirling through the F1 community. Every practice session, every qualifying lap, and every race maneuver was scrutinized, not just for its immediate impact on the championship standings but also for its potential implications on the driver market. Perez, for his part, approached Belgium with a mix of determination and the weight of expectation. The best outcome for him and arguably for the team was a return to the podium, a result that had eluded him since the Chinese Grand Prix 3 months earlier. Yet even a podium in Belgium might not be enough to secure his future, given the complex web of performance, potential, and strategic considerations that Red Bull was juggling. The narrative was rich with potential outcomes. If Perez delivered a standout performance in Belgium, it could reinforce his position within the team, at least for the remainder of the season. Conversely, a poor showing could expedite his exit, with Ricciardo waiting in the wings and Lawson potentially being groomed for a future role. Amidst all this, the broader context of the Formula One season added layers to the unfolding drama. Red Bull was not operating in a vacuum. Their decisions were influenced by the actions of their rivals. McLaren's resurgence highlighted the precariousness of Red Bull's championship lead, reminding everyone involved that Formula One was as much a strategic game as it was a test of speed and skill. For Perez, Belgium represented more than just another race. It was a pivotal moment in his career. The challenges were manifold, from the technical demands of the circuit to the psychological pressure of knowing that his future was under intense scrutiny. Every turn of the track, every decision in the cockpit, every strategic call from the pit wall was fraught with implications. As the race weekend unfolded, Sergio Perez's focus was laser-sharp, reflecting his determination to overcome the mounting pressure at Red Bull Racing. The practice sessions provided a glimpse into his resilience and adaptability, crucial traits for navigating the high-stakes environment of Formula 1. Qualifying, often a crucible of pressure, was his first real test of the weekend. After a recent string of disappointing performances, including a spin into the gravel during qualifying at Silverstone, the stakes were high. The question loomed: could he secure a strong grid position, or would another mishap intensify speculation about his future with the team? Race day presented its own challenges, starting from a less-than-ideal position. Perez needed to demonstrate not just speed but also strategic acumen. The race strategy, tire choices, and interactions with other drivers would all contribute to the narrative surrounding his suitability to remain at Red Bull. Team principal Christian Horner had emphasized the necessity for Perez to start scoring points consistently, given the competitiveness of the Red Bull car and the team's position in the championship standings. As Perez navigated the race, he faced the dual pressures of performing well and silencing critics who questioned his ability to contribute effectively to the team's success. His decisions on tire strategies, such as starting on hard tires or later switching to intermediates due to changing weather conditions, were pivotal. However, these choices also carried risks, and the outcome could either bolster his standing or further jeopardize his position at the team. Ultimately, Perez's performance would not only shape his immediate future, but also influence the broader dynamics within Red Bull Racing as the season progressed. As the laps ticked down, Perez's drive was a blend of aggression and caution, pushing hard when needed but also avoiding the pitfalls that had marred some of his previous races. His progress through the field was a testament to his skills and his determination to influence the narrative that would decide his future. In the end, the Belgian Grand Prix did not just contribute to the championship standings, it also played a crucial role in shaping the careers of several drivers. For Perez, it was a statement of intent, a reminder to his detractors of his capabilities and his resilience. For Red Bull, it was a moment to assess not just Perez's performance, but the strategic direction of their team. The decisions made post-Belgium would resonate through the remainder of the season and beyond, affecting not just the drivers involved, but also the dynamics within the team and its pursuit of championship glory. In a sport where the difference between victory and defeat can be measured in milliseconds, the stakes were incredibly high and the outcomes were anything but certain. As the teams packed up and headed into the summer break, the narrative of the season was still very much in flux, with the eyes looking ahead to what the future would hold.